Hey, welcome to the fourth episode of the Ascension Mini Series on podcasts. Today we are talking all about transmutation of energies. I love that word because it sounds kind of fancy and scientific and stuff, so that's fun. But I really wanted to talk about this because the last episode we talked about triggers and why you should welcome them in. And this you definitely want to listen to after you listen to episode 3. So before you get into this episode, make sure you listen to that and then come back here. And we are diving into really taking anything that has happened in your past that hasn't sit well with you, that has, come out because of triggers, and that is just kind of like is swirling around inside of you with nowhere to go. How do we use that and how do we heal that? And bring that into the light and use it to create a better future. Let's talk about it. So first, I just want to give you some examples of what dark pasts you or someone you know or just anyone has gone through. Abusive relationships, abandonment as a child, or just not being cared for or loved for as you needed, making decisions that you now regret, eating disorders, being bullied, bullying other people. These are types of traumas in the past that we can hang on to physiologically. And it's important to allow these energies to move through and out of us in order to heal. Because if they're just sitting inside of you, that's when years down the road, you get this really bad pain in your neck, your back, your leg, your foot. It actually manifests physically if you don't deal with this emotionally. We're connected in all of the ways. Our mind, body, and soul, they're not separate. They are connected. They all affect each other. So let's heal up here so we can move into the future in a more graceful way. And also I want to mention that this is probably the ultimate challenge for human beings, is taking something negative or bad that happened in the past and creating a better future from that, rather than going down the stairs, letting it just bring you down. You want to use any and all experiences from your past and allow that to uplift you and uplift other people. And when we do that, we are creating greatness. We are spreading inspiration. We are literally becoming great. And we need a little bit more of that today. So that's why I really wanted to talk about this. So like I said in my last episode, make sure when these emotions come up, when you're triggered, all right, work through them. How do we work through them? And you, by the way, this might not be a trigger. Sometimes you wake up and you're in a weird mood for no reason, quote unquote, but there still could be something inside of you that's creating that emotion or that unease, that disease, that uneasiness. So when you are feeling that yucky feeling, cry, scream into a pillow, use a pillow. Lately I've been needing to use my voice to heal more. I've been doing Kundalini, which uses chanting, and it's really cathartic, and it's really nice to be able to have this, it's quote unquote bad emotion and kind of hold it and feel it intensely. Now, hold it and feel it intensely by crying, screaming, meditate on it, do breath work. I know I've had breath work sessions where I'm bawling my eyes out. I can barely breathe and it just turns into meditation. Journal. What you got to do with each modality is set the intention with it. Set the intention to heal your binge eating from the past, or being bullied from the past, or the child who was not cared for as she needed in the past. Set that intention when you're doing these modalities. Don't just do breath work or yoga or whatever because you feel like you got to heal and you got to do it to do it. You have to actually connect yourself with what you are doing. It's a mind-body connection, mind-body-soul connection. You can't just do one or the other. It's not just your body. It's not just your soul. It's not just your mind. Really focus in on your intention. And when you breathe, when you do yoga, that will allow you to heal through it. But at the end of each modality, what I recommend is you do a little bit of a release. So you can even just take your hand, put it in a fist, like you're grabbing onto that pain or that trauma, and you chuck it. It's really awesome if you do this by an ocean. You throw it out to sea. It's an invisible force, but it really works. You can do this in your mind's eye as well. Close your eyes and look up and in between your eyebrows and focus on doing that. Maybe go to the ocean in your mind's eye and do that. However you feel is best to release, to let that go after you are done with that modality, with the yoga, the meditation, the breath work. Release it. It can be just in your mind, or you can use a physical arm to do it, or however you want to do it. And then also make sure that when you are doing this inner work to heal yourself, it's consistent. It's just like going to the gym one time thinking you're going to be strong for the rest of the year. We have to work on our insides just as much as we work on our outsides. So the more consistent that you are, the less chance that you will be triggered, the less chance that you will have this ache inside of you, or whatever it is that you are trying to heal. The more consistent that you do it, the less you'll have to do it, this work, quote unquote. I don't like to call it work. It's just, I don't know. I got to figure out a new word to call it. You have these pains and these traumas inside of you that is built up over years. So it's not going to go away, boom, one breathwork session. It's consistent work. That is essential for sure. And another thing, while you're meditating, this is actually just a modality that I recommend for you. And if you are interested ever in working with me, I can help you work through this. I know for me, I like to have a facilitator when I'm doing certain meditations and visualizations, but you can also do this on your own. When you are meditating, you can just close your eyes. A lot of times with meditating, you think you got to turn your thoughts off, but what if we actually created our thoughts instead of just turning them off? It's basically turning off what you don't want to listen to and kind of transmuting that into a journey for yourself. So this is a really cool idea. When you close your eyes, put on some really calming music or whatever it is, and start to visualize the part of you. Maybe it's the inner child that is wounded, or the teenager, or maybe there's like a physical part of you. Just imagine that in your mind's eye. Close your eyes, look up and in, and give yourself what you might feel. You're probably going to feel emotional, because if you're dealing with some sort of trauma, it brings emotions out. Allow those emotions to come through, and through that, as your adult self right now, give that part of you love. Give that part of you what you needed that you didn't get before. Maybe you were bullied and no one ever told you that it wasn't your fault. Tell yourself, it was not your fault. I love you. You did the best that you could. And that is absolutely something that I always say to myself in the past is, you know what? You did the best that you could. I love you so much, Cassie. You really did so well for what you knew. And I love you no matter what, unconditionally. And doing that will really help heal that broken part of you. It really, really will. And when you are able to recognize the dark parts of you that you've been carrying from the past, they no longer have to hold power over you, even just recognizing them. But when you do recognize, and when you are aware, when you become aware, you have a newfound responsibility. There's no more of, I don't know why I'm feeling so off. I don't know. Pretending everything's okay and just not knowing. That was my MO for a long time. I don't know. I don't know why I feel this way. You do know, and you can ask yourself all the time, if you're ever feeling off, what's going on? Go inward and really listen. You will find an answer. And people with dark pasts are some of the most bright people now. So you can be that. And a lot of my followers and a lot of my people here, my friends, there might not be intense traumas like being abused as a kid. It could have been just tiny little things that are coming up that you can really heal through now. And it could be just maybe being put down a little too much when you were a baby. And that might not be something you can consciously become aware of, but just understanding when you go inward and you ask yourself, you can find those answers. You can figure out where this issue is stemming from. And you can almost bring yourself through a trance of your past and recognizing that was the reason I am triggered when someone says this to me, or that's the reason that I'm feeling this aching inside of me for quote unquote no reason. There are reasons. And when we heal through them throughout life, we become better. We become great. I hope this episode rang a bell in you and maybe helped you think about something in a different way. And hopefully it will help you heal, because we all need to heal. No one is perfect. We all have experience. If you are human, we are experiencing. Even if you're sitting on the couch all day, you're still experiencing on a lot of different levels, not just physically. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed episode 4 of the Ascension Mini Series. I will catch you next time for episode 5. And have a fabulous February. It is February 1st. Set your intentions and make it the best. Make it the best. How about in 2021, every month it gets better and better and better? Yeah! Let's do it. All right. See you next time.